has to contend with. As D.H. Lawrence put it, the fractured and dissonant elements that rage on in ceaseless warfare within man are more complex than the wars that are waged between countries and continents. How true. Forget about the creature we call a law student, constantly trying to guesstimate which book provides the most cogent lucidity in understanding the deep, dark, and mystifying worlds of the law of trusts, the law of contract, company law, common law, constitutional law, and European Union law. Forget about the law student having to constantly read abstruse legal materials 100 times and realizing that he is no closer to extracting the secrets of the legal text than when he first started. Forget about the law student trying to compile a meticulous dossier of study notes, only to exponentially realize that his notes start imitating the length and breadth of the books themselves. Forget about him sitting as silent as death before his exam, trying to maintain meditative stillness and maintain a formidable and steely front, but in actuality, all of his innards, kidneys, and liver are trembling and treacherous at once. Forget about all of these things if you must. But do not forget what it takes for the law student to inject an impetus into himself, to maintain motivation when those around him may provide him none, or have none to give him, to meet the little failures along the way with dignity and grace, and construct the fortitude required to get him closer to his goals. Maybe, just maybe, attaining a degree is more than just attaining a quality classification, but maybe it is also about attaining and developing the right, or rather potent sort of psychological habits that will help us sculpture our way around and through this compounded synchronization of multifaceted complexity that we call society. To those of us who wish to practice the law, maybe nothing better can be said than Dworkin's terming of lawyers as significant agents for the transmission of multiple social forces, i.e., you will be active participants in the exciting and exhilarating foreground of social, legal, and moral dynamicism. That being said, I've heard that the early life of a lawyer is one where the hours are long and the pay is terrible. But I believe, again to speak in more Dworkinian terms, through interpreting the law in its best light, you may start to find that that very interpretive practice elicits the best and the most noble light of lights from within you. For those of us who do not intend on practicing the law, I have no doubt that the intellectual experiences we have gained through this degree will help us no matter what disparate field we end up working within. How many law students became philosophers, politicians, civil servants, journalists, entrepreneurs, poets, artists, actors, and musicians? The answer is many. So there is ample evidence to suggest that the study of the law does lend itself to pursuing excellence in other fields of professional activity. We would like to thank PCL for being a university that thrives on excellence and ambition, a university that is able to maintain a fulcrum that swerves into the constellation of abstraction and speculation, but is also able to keep students abreast with the practicalism of the professional world outside of that constellation. PCL's faculty, with a visionary and chief navigator, Sir Hamayu, are able to maintain an accurate awareness of what it is students need and, more importantly, how they need it. There is, though, one faculty member who all external students learn to rely heavily upon in their times of crisis and instability, and that is Ms. Shubman. Who, with a Spartan hammer, chips away at the indolence and torpidity that impede students from doing their very best, and ceaselessly pushing themselves even when the psychological odds are heavily arrayed against them. How many students have had Ms. Shubnam verbally scrutinize them with a razors-like circumference kit? How many students have caught Ms. Shubnam looking at them with a skeptic glance of askance, when God forbid the student had neglected his work? My best is many. But there is no doubting that her Vulcan methodology and humane concern for students has enabled many of us, me, not only to complete this degree, but more importantly learn what it is to involve oneself tirelessly in the pursuit of the good, to respect and strive towards the Kantian practical imperative, to see and treat oneself and others not as means, but as an end. Although a mere thank you may seem rather impoverished compared to the richness of your care and concern, nonetheless, thank you, Ms. Shubnam, and thank you, Pakistan College of Law. A thank you must be issued to our parents who entrusted their belief in our being able to complete this degree. I wish my peers, friends, here the very best, especially Saad Masood. He asked me to take his name, but he didn't pay me. I wish them the very best in their personal and professional lives and hope they can walk atop the firmament of their dreams and fully pulsate their ambitions to the four corners of their heart. I leave with a quote by Ayn Rand that succinctly captures the gracious spirit of education that we have been privileged to receive here. A slight taste of which I believe we have started to receive and towards which I believe we can continue our trek through the rib-rock slopes of life. Ayn Rand says, "The only purpose of education is to teach a student how to live his life by developing his mind and equipping him to deal with reality. The training he needs is theoretical, i.e. conceptual, but he has to be taught to think, to understand, to integrate, and to prove. He has to be taught the essentials of the knowledge discovered in the past, and he has to be equipped to acquire further knowledge by his own effort." Thank you very much. Thank you, PC.
Dean Ahmed Sahab to kindly present his thoughts on this occasion. And please come to the podium. Thank you very much.
Rather, Professor Humayun Hasan, Professor Tasneem Kausar, members of the faculty, students, parents. Normally, I am a product of SM Law College, by the way, which is an institution run in the evenings, and the faculty consists of part-time lawyers and part-time professors. Normally what happens, or at least used to happen there, was that if you did your bar, then the moment you landed in Pakistan, you were appointed as a professor in SM Law College. Of course, that you did along with your professional work as lawyer. Examples are the likes of Mr. Z.A. Bhutto, Mr. Abdul Hafiz Pirzada, Justice Ajmal Mian, and so on. It appeared unfair to start with. It was unfair. But those people who qualified from the college itself were not accorded this honor for a long time, and there were many who were never inducted into the faculty of SM Law College. For myself, it was probably 1975 or 1976 that the principal of the college, late Sheikh Haidar then, asked me whether I was interested to be a part of the SM Law College faculty. That was something very unusual, and I promptly accepted it. Then began my experience as a teacher, and I taught a number of subjects, to start with the Limitation Act, the Urban Rent Restriction Law, and ultimately I was honored to take up the LLM classes. This is when I was at the apogee of my career as a lawyer. I continued teaching even when I became Advocate General, and thus a member of the Board of Governors of the college. Then of course I was elevated to the bench, and that experience discontinued. When I came back from the Supreme Court, I again had that opportunity, but this time in a different institution, that is to say the Hamdard School of Law. There I have been teaching the Contract Act for the last 10 years or so. And teaching itself is a great experience, a great privilege. But at the same time, it is something that that can even make you arrogant. I remember one of the remarks of Emperor Aurangzeb कि जब औरंगजेब ने अपने बाप शाहजहां को कैद कर दिया. This was after the war of succession and after Aurangzeb had succeeded to become the emperor. तो बाप से पूछवाया कि आप की क्या ख्वाहिश है, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ आपके लिए. तो शाहजहां's reply was classic कि खाने के लिए चने और पढ़ाने के लिए बच्चे. Hearing this, Aurangzeb responded कि बादशाहत तो नहीं गई, लेकिन बादशाहत का जो मैनिफेस्टेशन है तालीम देना वो नहीं गई. This is how he responded. So therefore, the profession of teaching is undoubtedly very rewarding, but at the same time, it inculcates a degree of arrogance in a teacher, a kind of feeling of a superior being. But all the same, it's a great job. It's a very, very fruitful pursuit. Now, insofar as the legal profession is concerned, first of all, if you are a law graduate, you understand how the society works. You understand the very inner fabrics of the society, and of course, you have so many avenues open to you. Particularly if you want to go into politics or other allied fields. In fact, before the creation of Pakistan, before the independence of this subcontinent, most of the major politicians were lawyers. Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal himself, Liaquat Ali Khan, Quaid Azam, of course we all know. They were all lawyers and they contributed tremendously, as we know, to the development of the polity here. So a lawyer's job, undoubtedly, even if he is not a practicing lawyer, is a very good, very effective one. Once you join the profession, that is where your responsibility truly starts. Many times as young lawyers, we start going into technicalities. We start going into the trivialities of procedure, but that is not important. The important thing is that we should concentrate on substance, advancement of justice, advancement of a cause. I remember of a case which I argued in the Lahore High Court way back, probably somewhere in 1975 or 76. Justice Gul Muhammad was the judge before whom I argued the case. And everyone appreciated my arguments and I succeeded in the High Court. The matter went to the Supreme Court. The other side engaged Mr. S.M. Zafar. The judges wouldn't listen to me. And S.M. Zafar, the only argument that he advanced was, sir, you know how things are. This is Punjab, and this gentleman, the client whom I was representing, he was able to obtain these papers by pressurizing his sister and so on. And that was the only thing which counted, and the case was decided on that basis. So really, for a lawyer to be successful, he needs to understand the temperament of the judge. Justice Zulla was the judge, and many of you, if you have not come to know his judgments, would come to know of them now. He was particularly partial towards women who were pressured by their brothers or their parents and so on. And that was the theme which S.M. Zafar addressed, and the finer points of the case were lost behind those arguments. So the important thing always is that you have to address the substance of the case, and S.M. Zafar, being the past master of that, succeeded in a case in which normally he should not have succeeded. Hard work. Hard work is another aspect which can never be underestimated. If you work hard and if you are interested in your subject, then you just don't feel how the time passes. Hours and hours are spent by lawyers and judges, and without difficulty, solely because they are interested in their work. If they are not, then you see every hour would be burdensome. So that is where your interest in your subject, your dedication would come handy. As lawyers, you will have to spend a lot of time in court, waiting for your cases. Many of you will go to the bar rooms, spend time there, have cups of tea every few minutes. But that is not the place where you should frequent. You should go to the library if you have extra time in court, work there. I remember having seen a very senior advocate, Mr. Khalid M. Ishaq, very famous in his own time. I saw him having a register, sitting in court, waiting for his turn to get up and argue his case, and writing with a pencil on that register. And at that time, I was a young lawyer. I asked Mr. Khalid Ishaq as to what he was doing. He said, I am writing an article, and this is the best time I have. I asked him, why are you using this lead pencil? He said, I am using this lead pencil because, and he had a good lucrative practice. He used to say that apart from the zakat that I give on my assets, I also see to it that every year at least 2.5% of the value of the cases that I have, I devote my time in those cases without charging anything from those people who cannot pay. So that kind of approach of lawyers, that kind of human approach, I think is very valuable. Finally, of course, many of you would join the legal profession. Others may get into other avenues, but some of you would either go towards the judiciary at this stage, at the civil judge or magisterial level, or some of you at a higher level, where you may be appointed directly as judges of the High Court. Now, at this moment, one of the biggest crises that are being faced by the lawyers community at large, and particularly by the judiciary at the lower levels, is the ineffectiveness of the judicial system at the lower levels, the lack of judges, the lack of facilities to the judges at those levels. Now that is something which is going to be addressed by the government sooner or later. And after this change, which is going to come probably this year itself, they will have to revamp the judicial system, particularly at the lower levels. And in doing so, they will have to alter the modes of recruitment of judges. They will have to alter the conditions of service of judges, and there will be a huge amount of induction as judges at those levels. Now that is something which is going to come. and the emoluments at those levels are not going to be the same as they are now. They are going to be revised and handsomely revised. So those of you who are graduating now, and many of your colleagues elsewhere, should think in terms of joining the judiciary in this new scenario which is going to develop. And you see, we don't have enough judges, we don't have competent judges, we don't have suitable workplaces for those judges. I remember having gone for Umrah once, and when I was coming out of the Masjid Nabawi, I found a building just across, which was noticeable by its beauty. It was a big structure. I inquired of the people there as to what that building was. Of course, there was nothing written outside the building itself. I came to know that it was a court of law. Now, in a country like Saudi Arabia, in a country where you have an embedded monarchy, they had a court of that dimension just across Masjid Nabawi. Unfortunately, we don't have that in Pakistan. And hopefully, we are going to have that kind of thing in Pakistan, not in too distant a future. So that is something that you should prepare yourself for. Best of luck to you. You are at a stage where I myself once was. I was not as fortunate as you are. I did not have this kind of faculty. I did not have this kind of facilities. But I had something which I think I can share with you. I was a determined young man. I was hardworking. I was honest. And that is what brought me to this level. Thank you very much.
On behalf of Pakistan College of Law, as a memento of our appreciation, it is requested that Professor Christine Porter, Professor Humayun Ehsan, and Mr. Justice Bandari Sahab, please come to the center of the stage and kindly present a shield commemorating this event to our chief guest, Mr. Justice Wajiuddin Ehsan. The graduating class of 2000.
Please, I'm making.
A few categorical imperatives. I realize and I believe that as the time will go by, you will share with me this feeling of gratitude that it was not possible for anybody to have more sincere faculty as you people have. At the same time, I have to acknowledge that during this period, you have progressed at an enviable speed, and your career development seems very promising for us, which at the same time is heartening, for which the whole nation as I may say, is almost geared up to see a positive change. Time of hope is approaching us, and we see you people, duly qualified, determined and competent to match the challenges that this positive hope and change is about to offer. I am, with all my humbleness, feeling very proud before you that we could not have presented, not just possibly, to come up with a better chief guest, the guest of honor, than to have amongst us Mr. Justice Retired Wajidin Ahmed. A great role model in every sense of the word, in its every dimension. And just to share with you, he's not feeling too well. Since yesterday, lots of flu. And I asked him that had you told us this thing, we would have postponed this occasion for another week. And he said, as the man he is, he said, I like to honor my commitments. I am going to repeat that this soil is proud of its human resource. We are proud of you. And you will find us all through your career standing behind you. This is not the termination of the relationship. This is the reinforcement and a new beginning of a more meaningful relationship with you. And your worthy principal, director, Bhandari Sahab, and your young faculty, the most competent faculty, will always be wishing you great success and will always be standing behind you. And we would like to see on this, one of the most important days of your career and life, I am wishing you this thing, that we would like to see many more great successes in your life. We are grateful for your parents. We are grateful for your colleagues. It has been a beautiful afternoon for all of us. Your presence is a great source of motivation for us. I wish you great success. Good luck. Thanks for being with us. Great.
As the Director of the International Program, I would like to appreciate all the teachers who have provided guidance to our students and in playing an important role in developing a questioning mind. I would also thank every member of staff who works throughout the year to provide a supportive environment for the student body. In arranging this event, I would thank Asif Sahab, Ms. Iram, and all the supporting staff who have contributed towards making this event a success. In particular, I would like to thank our chief guest for honoring his commitment, as he put it last night. Thank you very much, sir. We very much appreciate that you took out the time to come to this event. So many different routes were taken to end up where we are now, here at this graduation day. Most of you arrived on time. A few are still on their way, maybe sidetracked. We hope they'll come soon too, but today is not our destination or ambition. It's not our journey's end. We may never gather in one place like this again. Graduation has been our common focus for the last few years. Can you now please focus on another destination or objective and reach that too in the years to come? We hope, or I hope, you continue working hard. That's the only message that we've always said to you since you joined this college and when you graduate as well. Please continue to work hard and achieve what you set to achieve for. Take care of yourselves as well in that journey, and those around you. And please stay in touch with us, and please stay in touch with each other. End of the day, we took this journey together. And remembering each other on the way, other journeys that we will take, it's something that we should do. So thank you very much for coming to this event, all the family, all the teachers who've made the effort, and it's heartening to see that the number of people who have attended today shows that our work is appreciated, along with that the celebration needed to have all the family members attend as well. So thank you very much to all of you for attending.